Hello and welcome to another video on program enrollment. In this video, we're going to look at some key considerations to think about before you make your program of study, specifically around the program format you're going to use and how that relates to enrollment cohorts. Okay, so I am in this curriculum management activity item registry build program by format. I go to add a new value, I put my institution in, and I need to choose my format, my program format. Now, when you go in, it's a bit terrifying because there are a huge number of program formats here. But don't worry, it's part of that is because program formats are campus specific, so we'll have the same format type repeated across the 3 campuses. But in the program format, you've got a basic structure. You've got the campus, which is defined in the first character, so U, M, or C. Then you've got the number of stages, which are here down as years, so 1 year, for 2 year, 3 year, etc. And then the number of sessions, so sessions would be full year, autumn, spring, summer, or they could be July, April in Malaysia. Okay, and those are the 3 key considerations you need to look at when you're choosing your program format. There are some additional information that, well, variation, where if we've got a foundation year, we'll have a separate program format for that. So if we've got a year out not counting, we've got a separate format for that. We may have a combination of the 2. We also have different ones for part-time, mainly for postgraduate, where the number of years a student can take the plan over varies. So it could be they can take it over 2 to 3 years, or 2 to 4 years, or even 2 to 6 years. And there's a particular format type that we use for that, and we'll look at those at another time. So the plan I need to create is for BA English, which has got 3 years. It's UK, it's got 3 years and 3 sessions, full year, autumn and spring. So that's the one I'm going to choose. So let's click on add. Okay, so that creates my initial structure. So I've got my program of study, and attached to that I've got 3 stages, and each stage has got 3 sessions attached to it. Okay, so now I can go off and use that and to build my stuff. But what you need to understand now is how that program format works, because it's given you your structure. So that's the first part of what it does, but let's look at what else it does. Okay, so this is a program format record, and it's for the one that I've just used, UK 3 year 3 session. So the first thing it does is it determines the planning node. And here we've got it down as stage. So that basically means that in this structure, the students will plan their choices by stage. So they make the choices for qualifying year, and then for part 1 and part 2. They're not going to be making their choices for the whole program of study. They're not going to be making it by semester. They're going to be making it by stage. Then we determine the year of the program. So here it again is stage. So year 1 of the program equals to stage 1, year of program 2 equals to stage 2, etc. And also what it equates to term. So what equates to an academic year. And again, here a stage equates to an academic year, and that's what we've put in. So that's something to bear in mind. And then we've got our structure. But the important thing is here that when we created our program of study, using this ID, this is what this stays linked. That value stays linked to the program and study, and is used to create the student's APT. And that's the thing we really need to understand. So the thing that's used to do that, or one of the records used to do that, is enrollment cohort, which I've got here. So to create an academic progress tracker, APT, we need our program of study, and we need our program format which we've used to create that program of study, and we need an enrollment cohort. And what the enrollment cohort does, it takes all the students that are on a program of study with this format ID, which is the one we've used, UK 3 year 3 session. In this example, all students who are on one of those program of study who have a full-time academic load and a cohort tag of S1. The cohort tag is used to attach the student to the stage they start on. So typically it's going to be stage 1. Yeah, but we may have students, say, from partnership plans who are starting on stage 2, and they will have a different enrollment cohort with a different cohort tag. And then it also shows us the starting term, the cohort term. So here it's 2016. And then what the enrollment cohort does is says, right, stage 1 is attached to 2016, and these 3 sessions are attached to 2016. And this stage and session, full year, it actually attaches it to a proper session record, full year UK. Autumn is attached to autumn UK, spring to spring UK. Okay, so it's attaching each session we've put in our format to a particular session. Now what you need to think about here is, okay, let's go in and I'm going to open up the program that I've built. So just bear. Okay, so this is the program I've built for English, and I've got my stages. This is the structure it shows you that was used in the format, and this is what's been created below. So I've got my program of study, I've got qualifying year, I've got my full year semester, and attached to that I've got my full year compulsory course list and the course, etc. So this will be used in the student self-service. They'll go in and they'll see their compulsory courses and they'll be able to make choices. Now, I can go in and amend this program of study. It's currently a free stage, free session. But you know what? I'm going to go in and add in a 4th stage because we've extended this program and it's going to be 4 stages now. I can go in and do that, and nothing's going to stop me doing that. But the problem happens if I did that without changing the program format, that when I come to create my APTs, it's going to say, right, assign. This is the format it's going to use, my original format, which is still down as 3 years, 3 stages, 9, the one I've added in a new stage. But there's nothing in the enrollment cohort that's going to add a timeline for that 4th stage because it's not part of the program format, and therefore it will never be added to the student's APT because it's not part of the format. So we'll pick up that you've added in your stage 4, but there's no way it's going to go into the student record, so therefore it's not going to work. Okay. And the other considerations similarly is in my program, in my program format, I've got 3 sessions, autumn, spring and full year, and all my courses sit under that. But let's say I want to add in a summer course into this structure. Okay, so I've added in a summer course, and when we create our enrollment cohorts, I've got full year, autumn and spring, but I've got no summer. Got no summer sessions set up. There'll be no summer sessions set up in the student's APT. And what this means is that when they go into their self-service, they'll see that summer record, but when they try and add it in self-service, the system has got nowhere, it's got no session to put that under because there is no summer session. So it will just reject it and the student won't be able to make that choice. So this is where the importance of the program format, which links to the enrollment cohort, is vital. If you make changes that change how your structure works compared to the program format, it won't work. What you have to do is, if you do make a change like that, you add in a new stage, you add in new sessions, you've got to rebuild that program of study from scratch using the correct program format. Otherwise, it will never link correctly to an enrollment cohort, and then it will never work for you. So one thing that is worth suggesting, let's say you've set up your program of study, and at the moment it's only got courses under full spring and autumn. It's probably worth having, so let's say it's a 1 year master, so that's a 1 year 2 session program format. But actually, you could put in a 1 year 3 session program format, or even use a 1 year 4 session program format, because all that means is there's going to be a couple of blank sessions when the student looks online, but it's not going to do anything. It's not going to really affect. They'll just see those sessions and go, oh, well, I can't really plan to that. It doesn't really matter. But what that means is it kind of future-proofs your program of study, that if additional sessions are added in the future, you're not going to need to rebuild that program of study from scratch, if that makes sense. So there's just some things to consider there when you're looking at choosing your program format, understanding how that program format links to the enrollment cohort and does other things in the system.